here's the setup. Actual negotiations for the surrender of Germany began yesterday, Saturday, when Admiral Friedeberg and his aide arrived in Reims by plane. The German emissary was tired and depressed.
I have had little sleep during the past 10 days, sir. I would like to wash up.
Orderly.
Yes, sir.
Escort the German emissaries to their billets.
Yes, sir. This way.
Admiral Friedeberg hung softly when he bathed his face and hands, but his aide was nervous. They remained alone until 5:20 o'clock Saturday afternoon, and they were taken before Eisenhower's chief of staff, General Walter Bedell Smith.
Unconditional surrender. All German forces to remain in their present positions. All German air and sea craft must remain at their present stations. The High Command of the German Army must guarantee to forward and enforce the execution of all orders of the Allied Command.
I beg of you, many Germans will be killed by the Russians unless they are permitted to surrender directly to the Allies of the West.
We are not prepared to discuss anything but simultaneous surrender to the Allies of the East and the West.
But the German people, think of the hardships they will suffer.
German people are the enemies of the Allies until they surrender. After your surrender, the Allies will be guided by the dictates of humanity. You possess the proper credentials to negotiate with the German High Command. And you must forward immediately these two Allied proposals to your superior, Admiral Dönitz. First, that you be empowered to surrender all failures. Or second, that Admiral Dönitz and his Chief of Staff, the Commander-in-Chief of the German Army, Navy, and Air Forces, with the necessary authority.
It takes some time, and I must realize that.
If the terms are not signed by midnight Sunday, the Allied lines will be closed 48 hours from that time.
The German emissary acted immediately and dispatched a message to Dönitz by British courier through the confused northern lines. The next morning, Sunday, dawned full of portent, and the day dragged on with our afternoon arrival at Rennes. Having covered every phase of the European war for United Press, I could hardly contain myself while waiting for the German reply. It came precisely at 5:08 p.m. Sunday when a plane landed at the Rennes airport.
Permit me to introduce the new German emissary, Colonel General Gustav Jodl, Chief of Staff of the German High Command.
This way.
Jodl returned the salute stiffly and smiling. Then he walked airily into the American staff guard, which sped into General Eisenhower's headquarters in Normandie.
Before we begin negotiations, I want to reply my...
Certainly. Orderly.
So at this point, his aide to the first German emissary, Admiral Thiel. The Admiral opened the door of his quarters, took one look at the grim-faced Jodl, and exclaimed, A few minutes later, Friedeberg emerged and requested a map of Europe. Jodl paced the floor. We corresponded for what he knew. He was the man prepared, the man empowered to lay Germany's surrender on the line. His first opportunity came at 6:15 p.m. Sunday, when he was received by Allied General Smith and Strong.
I cannot guarantee that my orders to the German Army in the field will be carried out.
Refusal to sign means the Allies will resume operations against Germany.
Then I must telegraph Field Marshal Keitel of the alternative you present.
Very well.
The American generals conferred with Jodl for 1 hour and 5 minutes, and then the door opened.
Send for the Russian representative, General Dixon. Yes, hurry.
Shortly after 9 o'clock that night, Sunday, the Germans retired to their billet. The message to Keitel was on its way, with the Allied ultimatum, sign or face a resumption of hostilities. And the answer was not long in coming. It was around midnight.
Well, Jodl, what does it say? Do we sign or do we...
Keitel says we sign.
2 o'clock Monday morning, staff cars began to arrive at General Eisenhower's headquarters. We realized then that the last act of the drama was about to begin. Yes, about to begin in a schoolhouse in Rennes. The Germans, ironically, had used it as supreme headquarters during their occupation. and our own General Eisenhower made it his headquarters after moving from Versailles several months ago. And at 2:29 a.m., the first of the Allied representatives entered one of the classrooms. I recognize most of them, although an army man pointed out the major actors in this drama as they are.
Well, is Lieutenant General Secretary standing next to General Savay.
Savay is signing for France, isn't he?
That's right. And General Suslaporov to the right is signing for the Russians.
Where is Eisenhower's representative? General Bedell Smith.
By the way, did you know that General Eisenhower himself is here?
Did you hear it?
Sure. He'll get in at the end of it, I bet.
Say, Alan, what time is it?
2:31. Here comes General Smith.
Who is signing for the German side?
Colonel General Jodl.
Yeah. There are 4 copies to be signed. Here are the documents.
History in the making happening before our eyes, marking the end of an era of terror and bloodletting. General Smith quickly affixed his signature for the British and Americans. Then he passed copies of the terms from the French General Savay on his right to the Russian General Suslaporov on his left. The documents were then placed under the steely eyes of Jodl. The German, hesitating momentarily, seized the pen and scratched the word Jodl on the 4 documents, one after another. It was the end. The German leader, his age jumped up. Jodl glanced at the grim faces of the Allied leaders. He gripped the edge of his chair.
I would like to say a word. Herr General, with this signature, the German people, the German armed forces are, for better or worse, delivered into the victor's hands. In this war, which has lasted for more than 5 years, both have achieved and suffered more than perhaps any other people in the world. In this hour, I can only express the hope that the victors will treat them with generosity.
You will meet with me at 10 o'clock Monday morning to arrange for German liaison officers to carry out the surrender and disarmament orders.
Ja,
He watched American officers march the Germans down the corridor of the room where General Eisenhower was waiting.
Herr General.
You understand the terms you're to carry out?
Ja. We will carry them out.
That is all.
Ja, Herr General.
The Germans retired to their billet with the death knell of Nazism ringing in their ears. Unconditional surrender. Unconditional surrender of all German armed forces on land, sea, and in the air. The most complete and resounding defeat in the history of the world. In the words of General of the Armies Eisenhower,
Just a few minutes ago at this table, Germany surrendered unconditionally its forces on land, sea, and the air. Germany has been thoroughly whipped